What's crack, it's VangelinaSkov, and it's been a long time since I've talked about TeamPinata on my channel, and I did not miss it. But today we're going to be talking about TeamPinata because there's some new stuff that's come up that people have asked me to talk about, so I'm here, talking about it. In today's video, I'm going to be telling you what the new allegations against TeamPinata are, as well as just giving you a brief overview of what has happened up until now with TeamPinata and who they are, in case you don't know or have forgotten. Anyway, before we get into that, hi, how are you? How's your weekend? If it still is the weekend. I'm hoping this video is going to go up today, but it might not because life, and it's already quite late that I am recording this. But as well as that, if you haven't already, then please subscribe and turn on all notifications with that little bell button right down there. And if you want to, you can also check out the Patreon or the memberships with the links in the description. They come with extra benefits and different tiers and stuff like that, so you can check them out. And while you're in the description looking for those links, you can also find links to merch and to the mental health planner that I put out last year. Anyway, enough about my stuff, let's talk about TeamPinata. Right, so if you have never before watched one of my videos, or you don't know who TeamPinata is, or you just need a little bit of a refresher as to who they are and what they did and what's going on, let me give you a very absolutely tiny little itty bitty brief overview of that, because I'm aware that most people watching this will know who they are and will know what they've done, so I don't want to bore all of you. TeamPinata are a DID system who used to do YouTube but are no longer anywhere on the internet. Last year they completely left the internet, left social media, because they were called out for drawing inappropriate pictures that involved children and sneezing. If you're wondering why sneezing, it is because they have a sneeze word that begins with fet, and then, you know, it's the same word, but at the end of that word it ends with ish. So yes, they were doing little drawings of kids doing that. A lot of them were much worse than that, but we're not going to go into details of that. Now, it was specifically one of the people in TeamPinata who was drawing these. It was Nan, but there's a whole system responsibility thing, yada yada. I'm not going to talk about system responsibility. Now, this whole thing caught a lot of people's attention because TeamPinata were engaged to DissociaDID. And at the time that TeamPinata was getting called out for all this stuff, DissociaDID was dealing with drama with Trisha Paytas, so there was a lot of eyes on both of them at the time. So pretty much blew up. TeamPinata went, okay, everybody hate us, we go. They tried to come back and make a very, very, very weird, not well received apology. And then they were gone again because everyone went, hey, this apology is shite. Because it was not an apology, it was we actually didn't do anything wrong, you're the problem, your brain don't work, your amygdala or your hippocampus or something is freaking out. I don't remember what they said. I have made a video about that apology, so you can check that out if you want to. You don't have to. So, I get it. People are triggered. When someone with trauma is triggered, they experience a flare-up of the amygdala, the emotional control center of the brain, and the prefrontal cortex, the logic center of the brain, doesn't function to its highest capacity. When one is triggered, brain function works on being safe and eliminating the perceived threat, rather than thinking things through rationally. This is an unfortunate but valid after effect of severe trauma. Okay. Anyway, that pretty much brings us to where we are today. There's a lot of other ins and outs, but I won't go into it. As I said, everybody watching this, or most of the people watching this, know everything about TeamPinata already, or at least the majority of it, and enough to understand what's going on now. So, as we stand today or yesterday, depending which part of the world you're in, from me reading this now, 23 hours ago, somebody posted on Reddit claiming to have known Nan like 10 years ago and had some very, very weird encounters with them. And these encounters happened when this person was underage. So I'm going to read this post to you. We're going to go through it, figure out what it says, if it is valid, if it is not. But there are a couple of words in here that I cannot say because the YouTube gods will get mad at me, and I do not feel like bringing down their wrath today. So like we did in not the last video, the video before last, we're going to be replacing some words. So I think in the last video we had abs and turtles. I don't think either of those words are going to appear in this post. So instead of the word that I mentioned earlier for a sneezing fet, and then some no space at all, and then the word ends in ish, we're just going to call it an ish. I'm sorry if anybody is named ish, but yeah, this is the best I can do. For a word that I don't even think I can allude to, it begins with a P, and it means a person who is, you know, inappropriately fond of children. Instead of saying that word, because I can't say that word, we're going to call them wastes of human breath. And for the thing that two adults or more do when they're in love or not in love, or just the thing that adults do. You know what I'm talking about. We're just going to call that fun, because that's easy enough to remember. So we got it. We've got ish, we've got waste of human breath, and fun. Those are the code words for today. Take note. Let's just read this bloody post now, shall we? They just start off by saying that they've been in the subreddit for a while. This is the DissociaDID subreddit. I actually checked, TeamPinata do have a subreddit, but it's not active. Nobody's posted anything there for 6 months. But the DissociaDID one is pretty active. So this is posted here. They said they've been lurking for a while, didn't know whether to post this, but they wanted to, yada, yada, yada. I am a sneeze-ishist, and I started exploring, like kids do, this aspect of myself on the internet. I had this part of me my entire life, and as I was going through puberty, I wanted to see if there were others like me, and fortunately, or unfortunately, there were. Unfortunately, I came across the SFF, the sneeze-ish forum, and it's kind of a hellhole. I did actually, for some bizarre reason, decide to go check out that forum for this video to see if there was anything I needed to put in. But I guess it's not active or something, because the website's there, but it just says not found. I don't know. So I don't even know if I would have found anything of importance there, or if I would have just scarred myself for life. Probably the latter. Frankly, I should not have been allowed on there at the ripe old age of 13 to 18. And just for reference going forward, I think a lot of what they're talking about when they're talking about Nan and their relationship, this person was about 13 at the time. I was, oh god, here's another word that I have failed to come up with a code word for. So this is like, personal grooming, when you like brush your hair, or possibly like a bride and a groom. But it doesn't mean that. I think you know the word that I'm talking about. We're going to call that brided, because that's the first thing that came to mind. Okay. I was brided by waste of human breath and bullied by other members, and I always remember one user in particular by the name of Spoider, who was Nan. And we've talked about this before. It came out in Kiwi Farms and in other places that Spoider was one of Nan's usernames. I can't take myself seriously saying Spoider. They also had another account on Tumblr or in DeviantArt, one of those, Gold Duck. And there might have been another username that I'm forgetting. I interacted with them mostly through SFF and DeviantArt with the username Goldduck or something like that. And while I was very upfront about the fact that I was a minor, Nan was less forthcoming. And based on their content, meaning their fan art and the age of their original characters and their mannerisms, I kind of assumed that they were around 16. And they did nothing to inform me otherwise. During this time, they would have been about 20. So this person was presumably about 13 at the time. Nam would have been about 20, but never actually said to this minor that they were talking to that they are over 18, that they're 20. Whereas the person in this situation, the minor, did say, yeah, I am underage. We went back and forth for a while, and soon enough the conversation turned fun in terms of the ish. And they would ask me about my fantasies, how I used to think about sneezing when I was little, what my own sneezes were like, etc. And I just feel like, look, live your life. As long as everything is consensual, it still grosses me out. And I can't deal with this, especially now with it being in the middle of a Panasonic and everything, just the thought of it. No, no. I said this in a live stream on Twitch the other day, but I saw somebody taking their mask off outside to sneeze. They took the mask off to sneeze. We're in the middle of a panorama, would you please? It's been like a year. Why is everybody so stupid? Anyway, this is not the point. It's just, I needed a break from that sentence. And me being a kid just thought this was regular teenagers who had something in common flirting. So again, they thought that Nan was about 16 or maybe a little bit younger, a little bit older, around that. I would browse their content and PM them, awed by what I was seeing, so unaware of the horrendous implications. At 13, you feel invincible. It feels like a magical age where you're finally a teenager and you know everything and you feel so grown up, and all the while you're so vulnerable. And I think anybody who was on Omegle at that age definitely understands that feeling. I left DeviantArt and SFF after realizing what was happening to me and becoming more and more upset at the harassment, fun or otherwise, I was receiving and put it to the back of my mind until I was browsing mental health stuff on YouTube, discovering DissociaDID and subsequently TeamPinata. Browsing through their videos, I recognized the art style and in a fit of shock at the audacity and bizarreness of the situation, burst out laughing. The characters I had discussed so in depth with Nan, the very original characters, I listened to them wax lustfully over, and then further they had uploaded a video of themselves sneezing. I was stunned, numb by what I was seeing, and honestly, I couldn't unpack all of that and made sure to avoid any content with Nan, partly because I didn't want to or couldn't deal with all of the feelings surrounding them. And also I found their voice very grating. And a lot of people would say the same about me. Leave it in the comments whose voice do you find more annoying, Nan's or mine. I'm sorry, I have to make jokes because this is just creeping me out, and jokes are the only way I can cope. We all have our coping mechanisms. This is mine, leave me alone. When Nan was exposed, not only did I learn of their true age, so again, say that they did not realize up until now that Nan was not a teenager when they were talking, but also that in addition to non-consensually exposing viewers to the ish, they still seemed to have a fascination with underage characters. And I realized that for those years, the forum, the messages, all of it, I had been brided into unwittingly participating in CP content, and it knocked me sick. So there's a lot going on here, basically saying, since this had come out before, if you don't already know, TeamPinata had uploaded a video comparing their alter sneezes, which after everything came out with the sneezing-ish, everyone was like, hey, you can't just unknowingly involve all your fans, some of whom may be underage, in this hobby of yours. And then this person is saying as well the fascination with underage characters who TeamPinata was drawing. Truth be told, I became revolted with myself, my fun proclivities, and my whole fun history. I felt responsible, like I had put out harm into the world by association. It's been nearly a year now, and with the help of friends and fun partners who know and willingly participate in indulging me, I know that isn't true. I was a child who was lied to by omission and taken advantage of by adults online who should have gently guided me away from fun content rather than engaging with me in it. Anyway, that's my experience with Nan and how I, a sneeze-ishist, have dealt with the situation surrounding DissociaDID and TeamPinata. Thanks for reading. Okay, so that's the whole thing. Lot to unpack. Very, very gross if true. But we do have to say, and we do have to point out as well, there is no evidence to say that this is definitely true. Does that mean it's all a lie? No, but we can't just blindly take it as fact. But it's probably better not to just completely toss it aside either. Somebody in the comments of this post did actually ask, you don't happen to have any screenshots or proof that it was Nan, yada yada yada. And the person replied to it saying that they didn't have anything. They said, all this happened around a decade ago, so I don't have access to those things anymore. You could see this as kind of sus, but you could also think of the fact that, like, do you have any screenshots from anything you were doing 10 years ago? I don't. But again, could mean that it did happen, could mean that it didn't happen. They do go on to say in this comment as well, I'm honest, I just kind of want to get it off my chest and lay it to rest. That said, I do suspect Nin had more idea about Nan's proclivities than she let on. They certainly have never been shy about them. I'm not going to say that sentence without stuttering again because that was my 5th attempt, and I also just stuttered over the word stutter. So there you go. So they do believe that Nin knew a lot about what Nan was into, but this is just their opinion. They have no evidence to back that up. I did have a look on Kiwi Farms as well to see if anybody was saying anything else about this whole post. The only thing that was really mentioned was people just posting it. This one person who does not believe the Reddit post saying, as long as we can get more stories that totally happened without any evidence that people are just now finally talking about, and not to look cool kicking the dead horse of Nan, obviously being sarcastic. So you can believe this or you cannot believe it, just do keep in mind there is no evidence of it, but that does not mean that it definitely didn't happen. But if it did happen, and I kind of wonder if TeamPinata are going to come out to say anything about this. I don't know that they will. They've pretty much left the internet. I don't even know where they are, what they're doing. Are you are you on the planet? Are you here? Are you working at McDonald's? I don't know. TeamPinata, where are you? But you never know, they might actually decide to respond to this. They might have some evidence to the contrary. They might say, yeah, that happened, sorry. Although what we know from the internet is that people are not great at taking accountability when they have actually done something. Going back to Kiwi Farms though, I just want to say that while I was looking to see if anybody had said anything about this situation and nobody really had, what they are talking about is the fact that nobody has seen Comrade in a while. So Comrade, where are you? Everybody is wondering, everybody's very worried. I don't know. Come on my channel, let me interview you. I said this before. You're not going to. I'm gonna keep asking. I don't think I said it in a video. I think I said it in a live stream and on Twitter. Comrade, if you're live, then, you know, come and do an interview on the channel. We can voice disguise you. Cool. Anyway, that's gonna be pretty much it for this situation. There are some other kind of speculations going on about this post, but I don't really want to go into it too much because it is all just speculation and there's no evidence. But I did think it was important to actually just talk about this whole post since it was quite in depth and it is quite serious allegations, and also because people asked me to. But do let me know in the comments what you think about this whole situation. Do you believe that this happened? Do you not? Do you think this is icky? Are you wondering where Comrade is? There is no reward for finding him, but you can try. Anyway guys, that's going to be it from me for now. So if you haven't already subscribed, then please do that, and you can also leave a like on this video. This is not how my outros go. Oh dear God. How do my outros go? Patreon memberships. Follow me on social media. This ending of this video is a shit show. Like, comment, share, and do all the things that I'm supposed to ask you to do at the end of a video. And have a wonderful day. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.